Good morning, students. Here we come up with the embryology lecture of para-axial mesoderm. Here we write the title, then I'll go through. This title is para-axial mesoderm oblique somites. So development of para-axial mesoderm or somites. But before we go to this title, we have to start with this. The intraembryonic mesoderm, which was developed during gastrulation. This intraembryonic mesoderm, which was developed during gastrulation, will now differentiate into three different structures. And therefore, in order to understand how this intraembryonic mesoderm develops into three different structures, we'll draw two diagrams in different views. Before that, please mention here the three different parts of intraembryonic mesoderm, which will further differentiate. Now, we are in the embryonic period. Remember, we are in the embryonic period. We have seen the differentiation of ectoderm. In the last segments, we have finished the entire differentiation of ectoderms, including what develops from neuroectoderm, what develops from surface ectoderm, what develops from primitive streak. Now, mesoderm. So, intraembryonic mesoderm will finally differentiate into number one, para-axial mesoderm. Please note down this first. Second will be intermediate mesoderm. And third will be lateral plate mesoderm. So this is the definition. The intraembryonic mesoderm during the embryonic period, during the embryonic stage, will differentiate into para-axial mesoderm, intermediate mesoderm, and lateral plate mesoderm, the three mesoderms. Now we go further. As we go further, first, please come on this side. Here we are going to draw let me draw here. This will be simple amniotic cavity, and below the amniotic cavity we will draw once again very simple. This will be the yolk sac. Very simple. So here amniotic cavity, yolk sac. Which section is this? Coronal section. Remember. And we are going to draw here. This will be entirely surrounded by, we know, extra embryonic mesoderm. So here, this entire portion, these two cavities, they are surrounded by extra embryonic mesoderm. So here I am going to write down this as extra embryonic mesoderm, or it is also known as primary mesoderm. In some books it is mentioned as primary mesoderm or extended mesoderm, coronal section. Here we have shown the development of, now here if I draw, you will understand, we have shown the development of neural tube. So this portion, that is neural tube, is developed, already developed, which we have seen during neurulation. Just below neural tube, we have also developed notochord, and we know this is notochord. So neural tube and notochord, we have understood the development. Let me first mark this as notochord. This will be known as notochord. Neural tube, notochord. Now, first, the entire mesoderm. Now, I will draw here different color, yellow color. Intraembryonic mesoderm is placed in the form of longitudinal simple mass on either side of neural tube and notochord. So, this structure which I have drawn is intraembryonic mesoderm. First, you try and understand. So, if I write here, this is intraembryonic mesoderm. They are nothing but two longitudinal plates which are present on either side of neural tube and notochord. Now, since this is the coronal section, what I am going to show you, please come on this side here, I am going to show you the diagram which we will draw this as the entire pear-shaped embryo. Now we are going to see this embryo from above. So therefore, when we are going to look at this embryo from above. Here I will just decrease it. So here, now what are things which we have seen, which we have developed? The first structure which we have seen here will be, if I draw over here, this was the primitive streak. If you recollect this structure, this was primitive streak. So therefore, in front of primitive streak, now the structure that we have developed is the neural tube. So this is the structure that we have developed, and this structure is known as, here I will write, neural tube. So therefore I will darken this border. So this is the entire neural tube and the primitive streak. We are looking at the embryo, cephalic end, caudal end from the dorsal view. Now this is the embryo of the dorsal view. This is the midline. Neural tube we have developed, primitive streak we know this, and at this point, just cephalic to neural tube, I will draw this, and if I write this as precaudal plate, we know what is precaudal plate. That is the site of buccopharyngeal membrane where ectoderm and endoderm are present, cephalic to the neural tube. So therefore, here I will just mark this structure as primitive streak. Caudal to primitive streak, if I draw once again another structure, I will show this structure as, this will be known as cloacal membrane. So the structure which is present caudal to the primitive streak, it is known as cloacal membrane. Just as the structure which is present here in precaudal plate, it is called buccopharyngeal membrane. Same way in this it is called cloacal membrane. So these are the structures which are present in the central midline axis at the end of the 3rd week and starting of the 4th week. In the starting of 4th week, that is embryonic period, we have seen the development of all these structures we have completed. Now it is time for intraembryonic mesoderm. So as we are looking at the embryo from the dorsal side, cephalic end, caudal end, we will draw the intraembryonic mesoderm. Now remember, surrounding, it is covered by extraembryonic mesoderm, or it will be known as primary mesoderm. Here we have to draw, now here we will draw the entire intraembryonic mesoderm. So if I fill this entire lateral sides of neural tube, see I am filling the entire lateral sides of neural tube. This is where I fill the entire lateral sides of the neural tube, and underlying notochord. What is present below the neural tube? Beneath it is notochord. So on either side of neural tube and notochord, I draw this as intraembryonic mesoderm. So here we complete this. This entire structure is intraembryonic mesoderm. The same intraembryonic mesoderm is going to pass in the cephalic direction. Just cephalic to precaudal plate. So here, again, this is intraembryonic mesoderm. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to concentrate in these two lateral plates of intraembryonic mesoderm, which are lying on either side of neural tube. And if I show in dotted format, then this structure which is present below the neural tube, if I show this dot longitudinal, it is called notochord. So on either side of notochord and neural tube, this is intraembryonic mesoderm. And remember, the entire embryo is surrounded on the outside by extraembryonic mesoderm or primary mesoderm. Here, this diagram, if I draw a section, then we see this diagram. Here, very simple. So this is a coronal section of that dorsal view of the embryo. That was the dorsal view of embryo, and this is the coronal section. So we are looking at the embryo from the front in coronal section in such a way that above amniotic cavity, below yolk sac, it is coronal section, This is the neural tube and notochord which is passing in this direction, and on either side these two, they are the intra-embryonic mesoderm that we have drawn over there. Very simple, because this is a coronal section, that means the intra-embryonic mesoderm is coming three-dimensionally like this. Very simple, do not complicate. Surrounded by extra-embryonic mesoderm. Now, since we have understood this, very simple, we'll go on to these two diagrams. The entire intra-embryonic mesoderm has been divided into three different parts. We know that paraxial mesoderm, intermediate mesoderm and lateral plate mesoderm by presence of longitudinal groove. Therefore, this longitudinal groove will be in the middle of intra-embryonic mesoderm, and that longitudinal groove, the mesoderm which is present in the longitudinal groove, will develop into intermediate mesoderm. So first we will draw the longitudinal groove. If I draw here in this, I just rub this, the second diagram now. Now in the second diagram, the entire intra-embryonic mesoderm will be split into three different parts by the longitudinal groove in this way. So therefore, this is how I will show. And here, if I complete this with the color, I will show that on both the sides, the intra-embryonic mesoderm has the presence of, see here, this is the longitudinal groove. Very simple. So therefore, the longitudinal groove which is present on either side of the intra-embryonic mesoderm will split the intra-embryonic mesoderm on either side into three different zones. See here. Three different zones are created. Those three different zones are 1, 2, 3 on right and left side both. 1, 2, 3. So therefore, the portion of intra-embryonic mesoderm where my finger is there, which is lying in the longitudinal groove, will become intermediate mesoderm. The portion which is lying medially next to neural tube will become paraxial mesoderm. And the portion which is lying laterally will be converted into lateral plate mesoderm. Three different structures. Therefore, now in the next diagram, once again, I will rub this and I will now mark all the three parts of intra-embryonic mesoderm. Now I will draw all the three parts of intra-embryonic mesoderm. For example, this is the paraxial mesoderm. Please draw this. Triangular small cubical mass, paraxial mesoderm. Second will be, please draw this, the longitudinal rod-like structure, and this will become intermediate mesoderm. And the third portion here, please draw this as lateral plate mesoderm. So this will be the lateral plate mesoderm. Now remember, this lateral plate mesoderm, on either side, it will communicate with the extra-embryonic mesoderm. Later on we are going to see. So here we are going to write down, please note down here, paraxial mesoderm. Then here, please note down, intermediate mesoderm. And here, please note down, lateral plate mesoderm. Please note down these three different parts of intra-embryonic mesoderm. Now, please come on this side. Here, we are going to show the three different parts. In the same way, we are going to show these three different parts. So, therefore, if I rub this intra-embryonic mesoderm and if I show these three different segments, first will be, if I show the first segment, first I will just complete this neural tube, and here I am going to show this as paraxial mesoderm. Please draw this as paraxial mesoderm on either side of neural tube. They are the conical masses, small cubical masses. Here, please draw this longitudinal structure as intermediate mesoderm. And laterally, please show this entire structure I'm going to draw here as lateral plate mesodome. So therefore, this structure which is present here laterally, this will be lateral plate mesodome, and therefore this is the final diagram. Now here we are going to mark down para-axial mesodome, then this will be intermediate mesodome, and this structure here will be lateral plate mesodome. This is how the intrahepatic mesodome has been differentiated. Very simple. So para-axial mesodome, they are small cubical masses which are present on either side of neural tube, then intermediate mesodome, and then lateral plate mesodome. Now we are concentrating in para-axial mesodome. Para-axial mesodome, they will extend from, remember, from the cranial end of primitive streak till precaudal plate. Also the para-axial mesodome will be developed by epiblast cells, and those epiblast cells we have seen, the ingressing epiblast cells which will pass through the cranial end of primitive streak and develop into intraembryonic mesodome during gastrulation, we have seen. So therefore the para-axial mesodome basically is developed from epiblast cells, and these para-axial mesodome now, since they are present from caudal which side, from the caudal cranial part of primitive streak till cephalic, till where it will extend, till precaudal plate. But in the cephalic direction, please note down, it will extend till otic vesicle. And we have seen the otic vesicle development of ear, how the development of ear takes place with otic vesicle. So therefore the para-axial mesodome which is present just below the otic vesicle, I am talking about the most cephalic part, otic vesicle. The portion of para-axial mesodome which is present below the otic vesicle are known as post-otic somites. And there will be few portion of para-axial mesodome which is present above the otic vesicle, which will be known as pre-otic vesicle, pre-otic somites. Now you have to note down, the post-otic para-axial mesodome will undergo segmentation to develop into segmented conical masses, and these segmental conical masses will be known as somites, or they are known as metameres. So now we will write down, if we come here, please come here. Now the post-otic para-axial mesodome, please note down, the post-otic para-axial mesodome, that means portion of para-axial mesodome below the otic vesicle will undergo segmentation, and these segmented parts will form conical masses which will be known as somites. How many somites will be there? 44 pairs of somites. So maximum there will be 44 pairs of somites that will develop. Now, since somites are developed from para-axial mesodome, which is lying below the otic vesicle, and this para-axial mesodome which lies below, and it will be below the otic vesicle, remember, and as it is lying below the otic vesicle, here this para-axial mesodome is undergoing segmentation to form the 44 pairs of somites, and these somites will be present only between 20th to 30th day. So please note down, between 20 day to 30th day, these somites will form. On the 30th day, the maximum number of somites will be reached. That is, on 30th day of the embryo, there will be development of 44 pairs of somites. On 20th day, it will start. So therefore, now please note down, Since paraxial mesoderm has been developed into various segments, those conical masses are surrounding the entire neural tube and notochord, and therefore these conical masses which are surrounding the entire notochord and neural tube are known as somites. These somites, how many are there? Total 44 pairs between 20th day to 30th day. So therefore now the age of the embryo during the somite period, which is the somite period now? The somite period is between 20th day to 30th day of the embryo. So therefore fourth week, please note down, fourth week of embryo is known as the somite period. How do you determine the age? Here you have to mention the age of the embryo is determined by number of somites present. On 20th day, see, on 20th day, the number of somites will be 1, 2, 4 pairs of somites. On 21st day, the number of somites will be 4 to 8. On 22nd day, the number of somites will be around 8 to 12 pairs. In this way, it will keep on increasing. Remember, till 30th day, where the number of somites will be between 40 to 44 pairs. In this way, the age of the embryo is determined during the somite period. Please note down. Now further differentiation of somites. So please come on this side here. In further differentiation of the somites, here I will take the help of this much portion. Now if I draw one somite, if I am drawing one somite here, and that somite if I show here, let us draw the pair of somite. This is one pair of somite, one entire pair of the somite. Now in this one entire pair of somite, we will draw how the entire somite will differentiate, further growth. How many pairs are there at the end of 30th day of the embryo? 44 pairs. Now each pair of somite will divide into 3 different zones, and we start with these 3 different zones. One will be ventromedial portion. So please note down, this is known as the ventromedial portion, and the other 2 portions, these 2, they are known as dorsolateral portion or dorsolateral portion. So please note down, dorsolateral portion. Now remember, this is one pair of somites out of the 44 pairs of somites. So ventromedial and dorsolateral pair. Now ventromedial portion of the somites will develop into sclerotome. That will be known as sclerotome. So here I will write down sclerotome portion of the somites. Please note down. These are asked as 1 mark question answer. Then these 2 dorsolateral part is again divided into medial, lateral. This medial plate will be known as, now here, myotomes. So it is called myotomes, myotome plate. And the lateralmost plate will be known as, and this plate will be known as dermatome. So these 2 plates combined together are called dermomyotome. So the dermomyotome, which is dorsolateral or dorsolateral part of the somite, will divide into myotome and dermatome. So therefore, each somite, right and left, will divide into 3 different segments, will develop into 3 different parts from medial to lateral: sclerotome, myotome, dermatome. From medial to lateral, sclerotome, myotome, dermatome. Each somite. So therefore now, try and understand, from the sclerotome portion of the somites, how many are there? 44 pairs. Remember, 44 pairs of somites extending from cephalic end, from the precaudal plate, that means aortic vesicle, till the primitive streak. So the sclerotomes of these somites will develop into vertebral column and ribs. So please note down, these sclerotomes will develop into vertebral column oblique ribs. This is how the entire vertebral column will develop and the ribs will develop from the sclerotome of somites. Then we come to myotome. Please note down. The myotome portion will lead to development of segments of muscles, segmented muscles. And these muscles will either stay in the same region or they will migrate elsewhere. So therefore, they are going to develop into the skeletal muscles of trunk. Please note down, skeletal muscles of trunk as well as the skeletal muscles of appendages, upper and lower limb, as well as the skeletal muscles of upper limb and lower limb. So the entire skeletal system of the human body, that includes the trunk, thorax, abdomen and upper and lower limb, will be developed from myotomes, including the muscles of diaphragm as well as muscles of the tongue. Dermatome, very simple. This dermatome portion will develop into the dermis of the skin. It will develop into the dermis of the skin. The entire dermis of the human skin will develop from the dermatome of the somites. So therefore, each somite will differentiate into sclerotome, myotome, dermatome. The sclerotome portion will develop into vertebral column and ribs. Myotome will develop into the segmental muscle masses which are belonging to the trunk region as well as migrating to the upper and lower limbs. And also they will develop into the various muscles of the diaphragm as well as tongue, and the dermatome portion will develop into the dermis. Here we finish with somites, the somites which are present below the aortic vesicle. Now above the aortic vesicle there are not somites, but they are called, according to certain textbooks, they are called pre-occipital somitomeres. So they are known as somitomeres. They are unsegmented masses. Remember, these somites are segmented masses which are present below the aortic vesicle. Okay. How many somites are there which we have seen? 44 pairs. So out of these 44 pairs, if I write down the total 44 somites we have discussed, what happens to them? Each and every somite, they differentiate into these structures. So out of total 44 pairs of somites, you have to remember these numbers. There will be presence of 4 to 5, remember, we start from above, 4 to 5 occipital somites. Please mention this as occipital somites. What will be the number? Around 4 or 5. Next. Remember, these are the 44 pairs of somites. So we are counting them. So the cephalic most of these 44 pairs of somites will be either 4 to 5 pairs of occipital somites. And we know they are present around the occipital region. Next will be, there will be 8 pairs of cervical somites. 8 pairs of cervical somites below the occipital somites. Next, there will be 12 pairs of thoracic somites. And next there will be 5 pairs of lumbar somites. And next there will be 5 pairs of sacral somites. And next, in the end, there will be, please note down, here I am writing, 8 to 10 pairs of coccygeal somites. So therefore, these are the numbers which we have to remember. Out of this, how do these 44 somites break up? How do these 44 somites make up? So this is the breakup. And this is often asked in MCQs. How many pairs of occipital somites will contribute to this 44? Around 4 to 5 pairs of occipital somites. How many pairs of cervical? 8. Then 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, 5 sacral, and around 8 to 10 coccygeal pairs of somites will contribute to these 44 pairs. And each of these somites, they will differentiate, they will further develop into, we have seen this sclerotome, myotome, dermatome. So in this way, these structures are developed from these somites. Now, if we come on this side, please come on this side here. I will rub this and I will then mark a flow chart in which this flow chart is very much asked in various MCQs also.